San is the CEO of a famous dig company in Korea. One day, while heading to work, San has a minor accident. Meanwhile, we meet our heroine, Lucky. Lucky worked as an assistant developer at San's company. San himself offered Lucky the job because her name was Lucky. San tells Lucky to hurry and come to the accident spot. This is because the girl whose car San bumped into is being very annoying, asking for his phone number. Well, it's what happens when you're handsome, right? When Lucky arrives, San tells her, handle the girl and park the car, then come to the office. San always took Lucky along everywhere because he considered her his lucky charm. Today, too, San has brought Lucky along for a business deal. The next day, when Lucky doesn't show up at the office, San finds out from one of his employees that Lucky went on a blind date. Meanwhile, Lucky was out on a date with the guy her mom had arranged for her. San calls her repeatedly, but Lucky doesn't answer. The guy, noticing how many times San is calling, tells Lucky to pick up the phone. When Lucky answers, San tells her to come to the office immediately. The guy drops Lucky off in front of the office, but Lucky is so busy that she doesn't even properly say goodbye to him. When she gets to the office, she finds that all the employees have already gone home. So, she calls San and asks, "Why did you make me come to the office at this hour? Are you getting revenge on me for leaving work to go on a blind date?" San asks, "Are you mad because I ruined your date?" Lucky replies, "My date wasn't ruined. I'm actually in a relationship with that guy." Hearing this, San looks upset. It seems like San might have feelings for Lucky. Meanwhile, we meet Yu, a cute guy and San's friend. The less you know about this guy, the better. He's a total playboy, changing girls as often as he changes clothes. One night, San wakes up from a dream where he sees Lucky resigning from her job. When he wakes up, he sees Yu lying next to him. San kicks Yu and asks, "What are you doing here?" Yu says, "I was really drunk last night, so I ended up at your place." San asks, "What? You were drunk?" Yu had gotten so drunk that he had thrown up all over San's house, making it filthy. Yu says, "I swear on my 28 girlfriends, I didn't make your house dirty this time." San asks, "Last month you had 26 girlfriends, and now you've got 2 more? Yu replies, "Hey man, life's too short. If I spent my whole life chasing one girl, when would I enjoy myself?" San says, "Once your drama's over, get out of my house." So, San kicks Yu out of his place. The next day, Lucky gives a presentation for her new game idea. Everyone is happy with her idea, but San doesn't say anything to her. When Lucky steps outside, her colleagues ask her how the meeting went. She says, "Everyone loved my presentation, but the boss didn't say anything." Lucky starts bad-mouthing San, and at that moment, San quietly stands behind her. Her colleagues signal to her to sit down, and realizing San is right behind her, she quickly changes the subject. But by now, San has heard everything. San calls Lucky into his office. Lucky thinks San is going to scold her, but instead, San asks, "How's your relationship going?" Lucky says, "We're going on a date today." Hearing this, San looks a bit down but doesn't say anything. When San comes downstairs later, he sees Lucky leaving with the guy Churan. They're off to watch a movie together. In a flashback, we see that whenever Lucky went to the movies with San, she always had to stand in line for popcorn and tickets. As Lucky remembers these moments, she notices that Churan has already fallen asleep. Meanwhile, San meets his sister and asks, "Did you break up with Churan?" But his sister says nothing because their breakup had actually happened because of San. On the other hand, Churan apologizes to Lucky, saying sorry for falling asleep on her. Lucky smiles and says, "No problem, we'll go to another movie tomorrow." Churan replies, "Then come over to my place tomorrow." The next day, Lucky heads to Churan's house. While having dinner with Churan's family, San calls her and says, "We need to meet with a client. Hurry up and come." As Lucky is about to leave, Churan's mom gives her a bracelet. Lucky didn't want to take it, but Churan's mom insists and makes her wear it. As Churan is dropping Lucky off at her place, they run into San's sister Cheyenne. Churan asks, "What are you doing here?" Cheyenne replies, "I came to see your new girlfriend, so that's why you forgot about me so quickly." We'll find out why Churan and Cheyenne broke up later. On the other hand, due to an internet issue, Lucky can't track the meeting location. Just then, some goons show up and force Lucky into their car. She barely manages to escape. Meanwhile, San is getting worried since Lucky hasn't shown up for the meeting. Just then, San gets a call from the police station saying Lucky is there. San rushes over to the police station. When San arrives, Lucky hugs him and starts crying. The police officer tells San, "You shouldn't have left your girlfriend alone at night." Lucky replies, "He's not my boyfriend, he's my boss," the officer says, "but it sure looks like he's your boyfriend." When they're on their way back home, Lucky can barely walk due to the pain in her legs from when she ran from the goons. So in a sweet gesture, San picks her up and carries her home. But when they get home, another problem arises. Lucky realizes she's lost her house keys. So San brings her to his house and takes care of her. He applies ointment on her sore legs and tells her to lie down and sleep. But Lucky feels awkward because it's her boss's bedroom. The next morning, San's sister comes over to his house. San quickly picks Lucky up and hides her in a closet because if his sister and nephew find out, they'll think something is going on between them. But it's no use. Cheon catches them hiding. Seeing Lucky, Cheon remembers that Churan was with this girl the day before. San tries to explain to Cheon that it's not what she thinks, but Lucky always thought of Cheon as San's girlfriend. Now seeing Cheon's son Lucky, wonders if he's San's illegitimate child. There's only so much drama a person can handle, and Lucky decides to leave without saying anything. However, Cheon drives up in her car and tells Lucky to get in. Cheon asks, "Does your boyfriend know you were at your boss's house last night?" Lucky says, "No, I haven't had the chance to tell Churan yet." At the office, Lucky texts her friends saying, "San has an illegitimate child with his girlfriend. I had no idea my boss was this type of person." But poor Lucky sends it to the group chat by mistake. So now everyone including San sees the message. San immediately calls Lucky to his office. Lucky thinks this is the end of her job. She rushes to apologize, but San tells her, "Make me a coffee." When Lucky brings the coffee, she accidentally spills it. San gets angry and says, "You don't need to work here anymore. Go home." Lucky thinks San is firing her and repeatedly apologizes, saying she'll never gossip again. Just then, Emmy enters and tells San to attend a meeting. Without saying anything more, San leaves. Lucky notices San didn't take his laptop, so, despite the pain in her legs, she hurries downstairs to give it to him. But seriously, why use the stairs when there's a lift? Well, it's drama, so she has to deal with it. She brings the laptop to San, apologizing again. San tells her, "Your legs are still hurting. Go home. You don't have to come to the office for a few days. You'll work online with the company." Lucky is relieved and happy to hear that. The next day, San and Lucky are having a video call about work. Just then, Lucky's mom comes in and says, "Churan is here to see you. Hurry up and get ready." Lucky forgets to end the call, so San hears everything. Lucky tells Churan, "Last night I was at my boss's house but nothing happened. Don't overthink it." After Churan leaves, Lucky notices San is still on the call. She tells him, "You can't listen to my personal conversation like this." San replies, "Oh really? You can send your personal stuff in the group chat but I can't listen to it?" Lucky is left speechless. The next day, as Lucky and Churan are on their way for a date, Churan spots Cheon with another guy and starts thinking that maybe this guy is Cheon's son's father. Seeing his ex-girlfriend with another guy makes Churan angry and he speeds up the car. But when he suddenly slams the brakes, Lucky's bracelet, the one Churan's mom had given her, breaks. Churan asks Lucky, "Will you marry me?" Lucky is caught off guard. Seeing her reaction, Churan quickly says, "Sorry, I shouldn't have proposed like that." At home, Lucky tells her cousin, "Today, Churan proposed to me." Her cousin replies, "Well, don't waste time. Go ahead and get married." Lucky's cousin insists on taking her to try on wedding dresses. While Lucky is in a wedding dress, her cousin takes a few pictures and sends them to San with a message, "I will marry you." San, receiving the message, is very surprised. The next day, the office team goes on a trip by bus. When Lucky gets on the bus, it suddenly starts moving and she falls on San. At the hotel, Cheon is talking closely with San. Seeing how close they are, everyone assumes Cheon is probably San's girlfriend. Later, when Cheon is talking to Lucky, San keeps calling her his sister. This surprises everyone. Cheon then tells San, "You're so annoying. You could have kept it a secret that I'm your sister. I thought I'd have some fun with them first." When they get to the hotel, they spot Churan. Churan sees San and Cheon together and asks Lucky, "Is this your boss?" Lucky says, "Yes, but do you two know each other already?" Neither of them says anything in response. Later, they all enjoy some games and drinks, and Cheon gets drunk. San takes her to her room, but when he notices Lucky is all dressed up and leaving Yuji and Yo, asks San, "So, how does Lucky look today?" San replies, "She looks like a mess who dresses up like that." Hearing this, Lucky quickly runs back to her room and changes her dress. The dress Lucky is wearing was given to her by Churan, who had planned for them to have a romantic evening. Churan comes to her room and asks, "Why aren't you ready yet?" Lucky says, "I didn't feel comfortable in that dress, so I took it off." They then play a romantic song and start dancing. As Churan leans in for a kiss, Lucky remembers Cheon and pulls back, saying, "We shouldn't do this before marriage." Lucky feels embarrassed since she was ready for the kiss, but Churan is still thinking about his ex. Lucky doesn't say anything and quickly heads out to the pool area, where she finds San sitting. San asks her, "Do you really love Churan?" Lucky answers, I don't know if I love him, but he's a good guy. There's no reason not to like him. San replies, if a girl truly loves a guy, I have a way to test that. He moves in to kiss Lucky and she closes her eyes. San asks, do you feel anything? Lucky feels a different kind of emotion but says, no, nothing at all. San says, if that were true, you wouldn't have closed your eyes like that. You would have slapped me and stopped me. But before Lucky can respond, she slips and falls into the water. Meanwhile, Cheon's son trips while getting chocolate from the kitchen and falls, breaking his leg. Hearing this, Cheon and Churan rush to the hospital. At the hospital, Churan's mom tells Cheon, I will never accept you and your son. You'll learn later why she said that. San, upon hearing that his nephew has broken his leg, also rushes to the hospital. He calls Emmy and asks her to bring his laptop and files to the hospital. However, since Emmy has an emergency, she sends Lucky instead. When Lucky arrives at the hospital, she calls San and asks, which floor are you on? But because Churan is also there, San tells her, you don't need to come up, I'll come down. As Lucky is about to leave with the laptop, she runs into Churan. San quickly finds another way for Lucky to leave so she doesn't see Churan. San doesn't want Lucky to know about Churan's ex-girlfriend Cheon. The next scene shows Lucky and Churan having dinner together. Churan's friend tells Lucky, take good care of my friend so he can forget his first love. Lucky is shocked because she didn't know anything about Churan's ex-girlfriend. The next day, Churan goes to the hospital again to check on Cheon's son. Cheon, overhearing from a nurse, finds out that Churan has left dinner for them. She's surprised, and as it's pouring rain outside, she goes out to give him an umbrella, only to see Churan talking to his mother. Churan's mother tells him, if you keep visiting Cheon at the hospital like this every day, Lucky will misunderstand. Hearing this, Cheon feels upset, so she leaves without giving him the umbrella. The next day, following his mother's advice, Churan takes Lucky to pick out their wedding dress. Meanwhile, Cheon is sitting outside drinking, because she knows Churan plans to propose to Lucky today. On the other side, while San is with his nephew, he notices some sleeping pills. His nephew explains that his mom takes these pills every night to sleep. Meanwhile, Cheon drunk calls San and asks him to come to the bar. San calls Churan, but since he's out, Lucky answers the phone. San doesn't realize it's Lucky on the other end, and in his frustration, he says to her, my sister is depressed and takes sleeping pills every night. Now you need to choose between Cheon or Lucky. When Churan learns what San said, he quickly leaves. Lucky starts to understand that Churan and Cheon must have a past relationship. In the next scene, Churan meets with Cheon and tells her, I've broken up with Lucky. But Cheon doesn't say anything and leaves without a word. Outside, Churan hugs Cheon and apologizes. From a distance, Lucky sees everything. Lucky had also followed Churan here. At that moment, San arrives and holds an umbrella over Lucky, asking, what are you doing here? Lucky responds, I came to see the end of my first love. San says, Churan wasn't your first love. Lucky, frustrated, says, if you knew about this all along, why didn't you tell me? San replies, I didn't want to hurt you. I couldn't watch you suffer. Lucky says, but now I'm suffering even more. With that, she storms off. San follows her, telling her to get in the car. He adds, if you don't get in, I'll deduct money from your salary. Annoyed, Lucky kicks the car and leaves thinking about Churan. From the next day, Lucky starts ignoring San. She avoids him at the office, making excuses to keep her distance. Despite San's efforts to talk to her, Lucky doesn't respond. He asks her to bring him coffee, but when she brings it, she accidentally replaces the sugar with salt. San takes a sip and says, why did you put salt instead of sugar? Lucky responds, well, sir, we ran out of sugar, so I thought I'd get creative and use salt instead. Their bickering continues. That night, everyone from the office goes to dinner. The employees thank San for the treat, and San looks at Lucky saying, it wasn't really my idea, it was Lucky's plan. Everyone thanks Lucky, but she doesn't understand why San is giving her credit when it was actually his plan. As the party ends and everyone heads home, San tells Lucky, my driver isn't here yet, so let's take a walk around the place. While walking, Lucky apologizes for being rude to San all these days, and they both start to ease the tension between them. Meanwhile, Churan is with Cheon and her son when his mother tells him, I won't interfere with you anymore. You can do whatever you want. At this point, we see an unknown person performing a DNA test on Cheon's son. The test reveals that Churan is indeed the father. Later, Lucky runs into Yu at a bar, but she doesn't recognize him. As we know, Yu is quite the playboy, and he immediately starts flirting with Lucky. Thinking he's a bad guy, Lucky hits him on the head with a bottle and runs away. Later, Yu calls San from the hospital saying, your Lucky has messed up my head. You need to come pay the bill right now. San goes to the hospital with Lucky and finds Yu there. Lucky says, oh, it's this jerk. He tried to kidnap me yesterday. San explains, he's not a kidnapper, he's my friend, Yu. Yu says, what are you, crazy? Do I look like a kidnapper to you? Lucky, feeling awkward, apologizes and ends up paying for the hospital bill. Shaeyeon comes to her bakery and finds out someone has ordered a cake, the same kind of cake she used to make for her husband. She quickly heads to the address given by the person. The story then takes us to a flashback, showing how Shaeyeon's husband Ling had a car accident. Shaeyeon arrives at the hospital but finds that her husband has already left. After that, there's been no contact between Shaeyeon and her husband. Back in the present, Shaeyeon meets Ling and asks, "Why have you come back into my life after all these years?" Ling replies, "I just wanted to see if you still remember me." Shaeyeon says, "It's been so many years, I don't remember anything from the past," and walks away. But Ling follows her. When Shaeyeon goes to pick up her son from school, Ling appears again. Ling grabs Saucy and says, "I'm your father." Saucy, confused, immediately calls Churan and says, "My dad has come back. You need to take my mom away from here." Hearing this, Churan is surprised. The next day, San is about to leave for a business trip, so he appoints Yu as the company's in charge. Emmy, seeing Yu, says to a colleague, "Isn't he handsome?" The colleague replies, "Stay away from him. He's a notorious player who knows how to charm women." Meanwhile, Yu asks Lucky to get a file from a drawer. When she opens the drawer, she screams in fear, seeing a fake snake. Yu laughs and says, "Relax, it's just a fake snake. I was just messing with you." Annoyed, Lucky walks off. That night, while Lucky and Yu are working, the power goes out. Yu asks Lucky to come to his cabin to get his laptop because he's scared of the dark. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, some kids are bothering a girl and she fights back. Just as they're about to hurt her, San steps in and saves her. He recognizes her as Yuji, his college friend. During the commotion, Yuji's shoe tears. So she comes to San's room to fix it while he goes to freshen up. When Emmy calls, San Yuji picks up the phone. Emmy, assuming it's San with a girl, says, "Do you know when I called San last night a girl picked up? It seems like he took her there." Lucky responds, "Is our boss really that bad?" In the next scene, Yu is busy setting up for a new project launch when an employee comes to tell him that two girls are causing trouble in the makeup room. Yu heads to the room with a project chip. When he enters, his ex-girlfriend locks him inside a room and hugs him. Because of this, one of his employees mistakenly starts a different project, which causes the business investor to cancel the deal. Yu's ex-girlfriend opens the door and Yu rushes downstairs only to find the investor has already left. The next scene shows San returning to the office after finishing his work. While Lucky is heading somewhere with some items, she accidentally bumps into a man and almost falls, but San catches her just in time. San tells her, "I've left a gift for you in the car." Lucky rushes to the car and finds that San has bought her a doll with her name on it. Meanwhile, Yu starts following Lucky closely. He sends her flowers every day to impress her, but San keeps them in his cabin instead of giving them to Lucky. One day, Yu walks into San's office and sees all the flowers he sent in San's cabin. San, seeing Yu, tells Lucky to leave. As Lucky is about to leave, Yu whispers, "You're going to have lunch with me today." When Lucky looks at San, he thinks, "If I stop her from going with you, he'll start spreading rumors about us." So he lets Lucky go with Yu for lunch. While they're having lunch, Yu tells Lucky, "I've never spent so much time chasing after a girl like I have with you." San, sitting nearby, overhears them. He tells the waiter something before quickly leaving the place. Yu is about to pay the bill when the waiter tells him, "Your ex-girlfriend already paid the bill and wished you the best for your 29th girlfriend." The waiter also mentions she left something at her place for you, your underwear. She asked you to pick it up. Hearing this, Lucky starts laughing while Yu turns bright red, feeling terribly embarrassed. Meanwhile, San goes to Shaeyeon's house and finds Ling there. Seeing Ling, San gets extremely angry and starts hitting him. Shaeyeon steps in to stop. San explains to his sister, Ling is back to fulfill his own intentions. But Shaeyeon doesn't listen and blames San for Ling's accident. Meanwhile, Saucy calls Ling Dad, which makes San feel deeply hurt, and he storms out. Back at home, San finds Yu sitting there. San asks, "What are you doing here?" Yu teases, "Do you like Lucky?" San says, "Number Yu," then says, "Well, that clears my way. I thought maybe Lucky stopped dating me because of you. But now I'll follow her everywhere and convince her to marry me." San, although shocked, doesn't respond. After Yu leaves, San starts thinking about all the moments he spent with Lucky and feels sad. He heads out for drinks. In the next scene, San texts Lucky and asks her to meet him at a certain address. When she arrives, she finds San drunk. Yu had messaged Lucky from San's phone telling her to come. Lucky gets angry at Yu and decides to leave, but Yu grabs her hand and says, "I called you to take San home." Together they help San get home. On the way, Lucky asks Yu, "Why has San drunk so much?" Yu replies, "It's because Shaeyeon's husband Ling has returned." Lucky asks, What happened between Cheon and her husband? Yu explains, once San saw Ling with another woman. San tried to talk to Ling about it, but Ling wouldn't listen. He took off in his car, and halfway through he had the accident. Later, while he was in the hospital, San's grandma gave him some money and told him to stay away from Cheon's life. Ling took the money and left, but Cheon didn't know he was such a bad person. Even now, she's accepted him back because she loves him so much. The next day, San comes to pick up Saucy. He tells Saucy, "You need to tell your mom that tomorrow I'll be waiting for you two at the restaurant." Ling overhears and says to Saucy, "Tomorrow we're going to the park and having fun." So Saucy forgets to tell Cheon about San waiting at the restaurant. While Ling and Saucy are out, Cheon starts remembering how Churan used to take her and Saucy out like this. After waiting for a long time without Cheon showing up, San heads back to the office. At the office, San starts venting his anger on the employees. Seeing this, Lucky brings his lunch to him. San then tells Emmy to put up a sign outside his cabin saying that Lucky can't enter without his permission. Lucky, frustrated, says, "I worked so hard to make lunch for him, and now he won't even let me into his room?" Hearing this, San and the other employees laugh. Meanwhile, Churan finds out from a friend that Ling is deeply in debt. He's returned to Cheon's life only for the money. Yu then forces Lucky to go to the shopping mall. There, Ling notices them and starts following them. When Ling enters a jewelry store, they sneak in behind him. Lucky, distracted by Ling, doesn't notice Yu slip a couple's ring onto her finger and put one on his own, taking a picture of them. When Ling leaves the store, they continue to follow him. Ling takes Cheon into a hotel, and when Lucky and Yu try to enter, a man stops them. Lucky calls San and Churan, asking them to come quickly. Yu, watching through a window, starts daydreaming about what would happen if he kissed Lucky. Just as he's imagining this, Lucky calls out, "Hurry up, someone might come." Yu's dream remains incomplete. Meanwhile, Ling takes Cheon into the hotel to propose. Just as he's about to put the ring on her finger, Lucky and Yu arrive, stopping him and saying, "You have to wait until San gets here." Ling tells Cheon, "If San shows up, he'll separate us again." Cheon then says, "I don't like you. I love Churan." Just then, Churan arrives, and hearing Cheon say she loves him, he hugs her immediately. Ling, realizing it's over, leaves. San then explains to Cheon that Ling only left her for the money all those years ago. While they were on their way home, San asks Lucky, "You left your office work and went to the mall to do all this?" Lucky responds, "What are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean." San tells her to check her phone. When Lucky checks, she sees that Yu has shared the photo of them wearing the rings in the group. Lucky tells Yu to delete the photo right away, but Yu ignores her request and doesn't delete it. Then Ling calls San, saying, "I've kidnapped Saucy because he's not my son, he's Churan's son." This shocks everyone. San and Churan follow Ling's car and eventually catch up to him. When San starts to hit Ling, the police arrive and take him away. San hurts his hand during the fight, so Lucky carefully takes care of him. Seeing Lucky's care, San feels happy. A few days later, Cheyenne and Churan get married. At San's house, Saucy finds a gift and starts playing with it. San says, "This is a very important gift." Cheyenne opens the box, but San quickly takes it away before she can see. However, Churan notices what's inside and tells San, "I've seen this gift in Lucky's room before." To test whether San likes Lucky, Churan invites San, Lucky, and Yu to dinner at his house. Churan asks Yu to give Lucky the food to make San jealous. San doesn't want Yu to go near Lucky, but Yu ignores him and quickly takes the food to Lucky. During dinner, San and Yu start arguing over who gets to sit next to Lucky, which makes Lucky sit elsewhere. The next day, Lucky visits Cheon's bakery, and Cheon teaches her how to make San's favorite cake. Meanwhile, Yu, on Yuji's birthday, goes to buy her an earring, but ends up buying a necklace for Lucky instead. While Lucky is decorating the cake, San comes in and, standing very close to her, says, "The cake looks awful." Lucky, startled by his closeness, quickly moves away, knocking the cake onto the floor. When Cheyenne enters and sees Lucky acting embarrassed, Lucky quickly leaves. San tries the cake and says, "It wasn't as bad as I expected." Cheyenne then asks, "If you like Lucky, why don't you tell her?" San thinks to himself, "I don't even know how to say it." Meanwhile, Yuji tells San, "It's my birthday today, please come and celebrate with me." San replies, "I have an important task, so I can't come." Yuji says, "I'll be waiting for you." On the other hand, Yu gives Lucky the necklace he bought for her, but she quickly takes it off and returns it to him. Yuji, still waiting for San, is handed a gift from Emmy, who says, "This is from San." When Yuji opens the box, she finds the same type of earrings that Yu had gifted her. She feels sad because she had been secretly in love with San, but never expressed it. Later, Lucky goes to a restaurant and runs into an old school friend. The friend says, "A girl like you is just what I want. Someone who listens to me, stays home as a housewife, and doesn't ask for expensive things." Yu, sitting at a nearby table for a business meeting, overhears and walks over. Lucky teasing the friend tells Yu, "Honey, can you put the necklace you bought from me on?" She then thanks him loudly in front of her friend. Lucky is only doing this to ignore her old friend. Afterward, they both leave the restaurant. Feeling annoyed by her friend's words, Lucky starts drinking. As she's drinking, Churan walks by and notices her with Yu. He calls Cheyenne to tell her about it. San, who is with Cheyenne, overhears the conversation. He rushes to the restaurant and finds Lucky drunk and lying on the table. San tries to help her, but while doing so, he unexpectedly kisses her. He immediately stops, realizing that Lucky is his employee, but Lucky, still drunk, kisses San back. Yu witnesses this and feels heartbroken. Afterward, San notices that Lucky is still wearing the necklace Yu gave her. Angered, he leaves, leaving Lucky behind. The next day, Lucky wakes up from a dream where she's kissing San. Just then, her mom enters and wakes her up. Lucky asks her mom, "Who brought me home last night?" Her mom replies, "It was you." Lucky gets confused. Was she kissing San, or did she mistakenly kiss Yu thinking it was San? When Lucky steps outside, Yu shows up and says, "Did you forget about last night?" Hearing this, Lucky gets even more confused. Did she kiss Yu instead of San? When Lucky arrives at the office, San asks her, "Do you want to tell me something?" Lucky replies, "Actually, my friend who doesn't like him kissed him when she got drunk." She's talking about Yu, but San thinks she's referring to him. San asks, "If your friend doesn't like him, why did she kiss him?" Lucky says, "She kissed him thinking he was someone else." San assumes that Lucky must like Yu and kissed him by mistake. Lucky continues, "Now my friend doesn't know who she actually likes. Was it the person she kissed, or the one she was thinking about?" San responds, "Your friend must like the person she kissed." Lucky thinks to herself, "I came here to clear things up, but San has only made everything more confusing." The next day, when Lucky arrives at the office, she sees everyone dressed up and ready to go somewhere. She's confused because no one told her where they were going. Yu then gives her a dress and says, "Didn't you know? There's a get-together party at the office today." Lucky replies, "No one told me anything about it." Feeling annoyed, Lucky wears the dress Yu gave her and heads to the party. When San sees Lucky in the dress from Yu, he gets extremely jealous and turns bright red. He approaches her and says, "Couldn't you find any other dress to wear besides this one?" Lucky responds, "This one was a gift from Yu." Later, Lucky sees Yu waiting to propose to her, but instead of going to him, she walks away. When Yu follows her, Lucky stops him and says, "Look, even if I kissed you, I don't like you. I kissed you thinking you were someone else. I like someone else." Yu asks, "Is it San?" Lucky doesn't say anything and leaves. The next day at the office, San learns that their new project plan has been leaked. Everyone accuses Lucky of being the one who leaked it. When San doesn't believe it, the clients show him a photo of Lucky with an employee from the company that leaked the plan. Lucky explains, "This is a photo with an old school friend of mine. We met after a long time, so we took the picture." One of the clients says, "Then let us check your phone." When they look through her phone, they find that Lucky had been chatting with her friend about a design. Lucky explains, "She asked me to help her choose a wedding dress design." But the clients don't believe her, and neither does San, who fires her from the company. Lucky leaves heartbroken without even taking her phone. A few days later, San meets Lucky and says, "I know you're really mad at me, but this was the only way I could catch the real culprit." Lucky responds, "If this was your plan, why didn't you tell me earlier?" San says, "How could I? You left your phone at the office." Just then, they spot Dong, an employee, getting into a luxurious car after leaving his bicycle. San and Lucky are suspicious, wondering how a regular employee could afford such an expensive car. The next day, two employees gossip saying, "Today we'll finally find out who the real culprit is." San is meeting the person at the coffee shop. Dong, realizing that he's the one responsible, goes to the coffee shop to check. There, Emmy is waiting for him. Emmy asks, "Why did you do something so terrible to San?" Dong calls San and asks to meet him in the office. When everyone gathers at the office, San asks Dong, "Why did you do this?" Dong confesses and apologizes for his actions. The next day, Lucky rejoins the office and brings lunch for San. When she tries to hand him the lunchbox, she overhears a client telling San, "Because of Lucky, the company is heading downhill. If you don't make her resign now, the company will go under." Hearing this, Lucky feels upset and walks away without giving San the lunch. Realizing that Lucky is causing losses for the company, she decides to leave. The next day, Lucky hands in her resignation letter to San. San asks her, "Why do you want to leave?" Lucky responds, "I have personal reasons." But San doesn't accept her resignation and repeatedly asks her why she wants to leave. Just then, Yu enters and says, "Actually, we're dating now. Lucky doesn't have time for me, so she's decided to leave the company." Yu takes Lucky away, leaving San heartbroken because he had already fallen in love with her. Lucky asks Yu why he lied, and Yu replies, "You gave such an excuse, but San will never make you resign. That's why I said that now he'll definitely let you go." A few days later, San finally signs Lucky's resignation letter. Although San is smiling in front of her, inside his heart is breaking into pieces. The deal Lucky was excited to work on gets cancelled by San because of her resignation. He doesn't want her to be involved in that project anymore, so he cancels the deal entirely. Time passes and it's Yu's birthday. Lucky brings a cake for him. It's San's favorite flavor, so Yu asks, "With all this cake, why did you bring this one?" Lucky replies, "Actually, I can't make any other cake except this one." At that moment, San and Yuji show up because Yu invited them. While everyone is eating, Yuji starts talking about an incident when Yu was on a Ferris wheel with his girlfriend. He was in terrible condition and had to be rescued. Yuji adds, "If a couple kisses at the top of the Ferris wheel, they'll be together all year." Hearing this, Yu says, "Then I'll go kiss Lucky at the Ferris wheel today." Everyone heads to the park and suddenly, to everyone's surprise, San sits with Lucky on the Ferris wheel. Yu is left confused, not understanding why San would do this. Yuji and Yu also get on the Ferris wheel, and when it goes up, Yu starts feeling uneasy. Up at the top, San kisses Lucky, and the feeling is strangely familiar to Lucky, so she kisses him back. When they reach the bottom, San wants to say, "I was the one who kissed you that day." But before he can, Yu and Yuji arrive, and San quickly leaves. Yuji tells Lucky, "Since you resigned, the company is in bad shape. San canceled that deal and now the company is losing money." Hearing this, Lucky rushes to the office and tells San, "I want to rejoin the company." But San, not listening to her, throws her out of his cabin and says, "Go date Yu." Lucky replies, "I made Yu my fake boyfriend just to resign from the company. I never liked him. In these days, I've missed this office, its people, and most importantly, Yu." Hearing this, San feels happy. Meanwhile, Yu and Yuji head to a house to chill. They drink so much that they lose control. After spending the night together, Yu wakes up and is shocked to see Yuji in bed next to him. He wonders how he ended up spending the night with his best friend. Yu feels very nervous about the night's events, but Yuji seems perfectly normal. While Yu is cleaning his bed, he notices Yuji's earrings and the necklace Yu gave to Lucky. Yu stares at the two items and starts recalling the moments he spent with both of them. He decides that he won't bother Lucky anymore and will stay with Yuji from now on. The next day, Lucky rejoins the office. Meanwhile, San sells his house to keep the company afloat. Lucky feels bad when she finds out about this. After work, she insists on driving San home. When they arrive, Lucky pulls San into a room and says, "You'll stay here from now on." San asks, "Are you asking me to buy this house?" Lucky replies, "No, the owner of this house is in the USA for a few days, so you can stay here until then. And the owner won't charge you any rent." When Lucky leaves the room, her mother sees it. Lucky explains to her mom that she'll pay the rent for the room and tells her not to tell her dad. San notices that Lucky has decorated the room very nicely for him. That night, Lucky's mom prepares a lot of food, and Lucky asks her if anyone is coming over. Her mom replies, "I've prepared all this for San. Go quickly and take the food to him." While Lucky is packing the food, her dad asks where she's going. Lucky says, "I'm having dinner with a friend." She goes to San's room and they have dinner together. This continues for several days. Lucky brings food to San every day. One day after they finish dinner and start working on some office tasks, San tells Lucky that he has liked her for a long time and he loves her. He asks her if she will be his girlfriend. Since Lucky also likes San, she agrees. They kiss and officially become a couple. Meanwhile, Yu proposes to Yuji saying he wants to marry her. Yuji is completely shocked and says, "Are you out of your mind? What are you talking about?" Yu insists, "I'm serious about you." But Yuji ignores him and walks away. The next day, a new client arrives at the company named Rui, who turns out to be San's ex-girlfriend. Rui immediately goes to San's cabin and hugs him. Lucky, seeing this, gets really upset. San tells Rui, "What happened in the past is over. I love Lucky now, so please stay away from me." During a meeting, the power goes out and Rui intentionally sits on San's lap. When the power comes back on Lucky, and the other employees are shocked to see this, Lucky can't stand it and leaves angrily. San follows her, trying to calm her down. Meanwhile, Yuji goes on a solo trip and feels like someone is following her. When she turns around, she sees it's back at the office. Emmy shows Lucky some photos where Rui and San are together at his grandmother's house. The photos go viral, and Lucky goes to meet San. But when she arrives, she sees San leaving with Rui. Lucky starts following them. Eventually, they arrive at a pet house where Rui buys a cat. When San is about to drop Rui off at her place, Lucky appears and tells him, "Get out of the car. I'll take her home." Lucky takes Rui away, and seeing Lucky's jealousy, San laughs. But even though San is laughing, Lucky is very angry with him. That night, San comes to Lucky's house to try and make up for her anger. He throws a stone to get her attention because she's not answering his calls. Unfortunately, the stone hits Lucky's dad, and he comes downstairs to scold San. When Lucky's dad sees San's car, he's impressed by how beautiful it is. He's always been interested in car racing, so he starts driving San's car at high speed. San manages to impress his future father-in-law, and they get along well. Later, Lucky's parents send San to Lucky's room to help calm her down. San enters and explains to Lucky, "I love only you and Rui is just my past." San keeps apologizing and Lucky forgives him. The next day, when San and Lucky arrive at Yu's house, they find out that Yuji is now dating Yu. They both ask, "How did this happen?" A flashback scene shows Yu getting injured after a fall and how Yuji took care of him. Later, Yu proposes to Yuji, but she rejects him again. Yu says, "Look, I'm not the same as before. I've completely changed. Now my heart only belongs to you. I don't even look at any other girl. Even if you reject me now, I know one day you'll fall in love with me. Until then, I'll wait for you." Hearing this, Yuji melts like ice cream and accepts Yu's proposal. The scene switches back to the present where Yu publicly kisses Yuji and announces, "We're dating now." Everyone is happy for them. The next day, there's a party at San's grandma's company, and Rui is also present with her. But Rui, being devious, sends Lucky a message saying, "San has drunk too much." Lucky sees the message and rushes over to the party. When Lucky arrives, Rui deliberately falls on San and kisses him on the cheek. San quickly pulls Lucky aside and says, "It was just an accident. Please don't misunderstand me again." Lucky responds, "That's not a kiss." And then she kisses San passionately. After the kiss, she says, "Now that's a kiss." A few days later, San plans to propose to Lucky with the help of Emmy and the rest of the office employees. The proposal is beautifully arranged, and San asks Lucky to marry him. A few days later, the wedding day arrives for San, Lucky, Yu, and Yuji. San and Yu are waiting for their brides. After a while, Lucky and Yuji arrive with their fathers. The fathers hand their daughters over to their beloved ones, and they exchange rings, kiss romantically, and complete the wedding ceremony. Time passes, and one day San gives Lucky the key to a room. Lucky asks, "What's this key for?" When she opens the door, she finds that San has beautifully decorated the room for their future children. Surprised, Lucky says, "But we don't have a baby yet." San replies, "No problem. Let's start the process of having a baby now." He picks Lucky up in his arms and carries her to their room. The scene ends on a playful note with a happy ending. With this beautiful moment, today's drama comes to an end. Don't forget to let me know how you liked the drama, and if you enjoy my stories, make sure to like and comment to stay with me. Now I'm leaving, but I'll see you soon with a new drama story. Until then, take care of yourselves.